give it a few minutes and I'll let you just soak up this nature while we wait. Welcome, beautiful souls, to this, I was going to say random, but inspired YouTube live. The last time you would have seen me doing a YouTube live, the weather was just starting to turn. We were in autumn and, there was leaves around, beautiful orange leaves, and now we are definitely in winter here on the UK side of the world. Look at all those leaves down there. This was all full of spring flowers in the spring, beautiful colours. But now it is winter, and just wanted to tap in about the seasons. And within the seasons, I want to talk about the seasons and how it is a reflection of our internal worlds, and also how important it is to get out into nature no matter what the season. This is what I've been learning growing up in a warmer climate and then moving to a colder climate, that no matter what the season, how important it is to connect with nature. And speaking of the seasons, you've got your winter, autumn, winter, then it goes spring, summer, and autumn, right? You've got these 4 seasons, and all these 4 seasons are just as important as each other. Each particular season gives us an opportunity for different things, and I've been really sort of starting to appreciate that in the last few years, especially here in this colder climate that I'm not used to being in. And for me, it's like being able to really cherish the winter, actually, and the darkness, because for me, I guess in New Zealand, the earliest it would get dark in the winter is like 5:30, I think, 6 o'clock from memory, 5:30 in the South Island. And here it's like, maybe I'm being a bit dramatic, but I feel it's like 3 p.m. like 3 p.m. in the 3:30 in the winter, just before the winter solstice. I do remember last year or the year before, it was like 3:30. It was dark. It was dark o'clock. So with the amount of light that is out in the winter, it does make it more. You do become more grateful for the light that does show itself in the winter, and it is actually so important to have. I've realized that amount of darkness, because as within so without, as above so below. The darkness is a reflection of our own darkness, and a lot of the times, sometimes the darkness is not something that we want to face. It's our shadows, right? It's shadow work. It's things we might be ashamed of, or things that we don't want to deal with because it hurts too much, it's too painful. But actually, without the darkness, we would not know the light, and that is so true. Along my journey, I have definitely learnt that through many different life experiences, from my divorce experience, through going through a earthquake, through, going through my upbringing with a mother who has bipolar. Later on in my journey, the last few years, I've realised actually, for a long time, I had been running away from these sort of more traumatic, intense situations, which would be, I guess, the darkness. But actually, in order to grow and to get to my next evolution, I actually needed to go into that darkness. I actually needed to face the darkness and sit with the darkness and be with the darkness, which is not easy. It really is not. It is for the brave. It is for those who have the courage to do that. But also, I heard this really great quote once. It's like, change comes to those who cannot stand the pain of being the same anymore, or who cannot stand the pain of where they are anymore. So the only sort of option that they have next is to sit in the darkness so that they can grow. Because you think about a seed, right? A seed gets planted in the earth. There's no light in the earth. The seed starts to germinate and push itself out of its capsule, out of its seed, to get the shoots to reach. It's reaching for the light. And we are nature. We started as seeds. We have many seeds within us. We are nature. So it's within us to be reaching for the light, to be growing. And in order to do that, we must go to the darkness. So yes, in this side of the world, here in the UK, we are heading into the winter. I will be putting out some meditations, some online meditations, and I'm working on a framework for some internal shadow work. For those who would like that, send me a DM. But yeah, I'm actually going to be heading home to New Zealand for this season. So it will be summer over in the New Zealand side of the world. And I guess back in the day, a few years ago, I used to chase the summer from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, and I wouldn't really sit in the darkness for the longest time. But being here in the UK for the last 3 winters, I've really felt like I've dived deep into my darkness, and of course there's still more to be done. So yeah, for me, going back into the New Zealand side of the world is going to be nice to have a little break from the darkness, because it is pretty intense and in-depth here on the UK side of the world. But of course, yeah, I haven't been home for a few years, so it's going to be lovely to just reconnect with the whenua, with the land, with my whānau, my family, e hoa ma, my friends, and just the energy of that beautiful land. And of course, the summer is all about being expansive and being out there and being, bringing things that we've had within the internal stage of the internal winter. After internal winter, our winter, we go into spring, which is where we're starting to plant the seeds. When it's winter, internally, it's all about going within, facing our darkness, ruminating on things we want to create. Spring is about starting to plant the seeds, and summer is about shining energy and bringing those things that you have planted into fruition. And then, of course, autumn is starting to slow down and close off any loose ends before you get ready for the winter. So yeah, I feel like I've been very lucky to have a beautiful summer here in the UK, and I had many different events, from cacao ceremonies to market stalls that I was a part of, with my high vibrational healing crystal copper wrapped jewellery pieces. Held some beautiful sacred spaces with my partner, who does a lot of breath and movement. He does a lot of detoxing and fasting, so we were able to sort of collaborate on a couple of things, and it's been a beautiful summer. So really, for me, it's like things that I've done here in this side of the world, I can now kind of take to the New Zealand side of the world and see what I can create there. So yes, the seasons, there is importance for each season. They're all important. They're all just as important as each other. I've really started to see that in my sort of the last few years, and just a reminder that no matter what the season, get out into nature, connect with nature. Even in the winter time, like for me in this side of the world, the northern hemisphere, because there is less light, I do make it a priority to get out into nature while it's light. And even when it's dark, it's quite fun, going for a walk in places that you feel safe, of course, and connecting with nature, because that's another fun thing actually that I've dived deeper into, is like the darkness, and just going out into the dark, going out for a walk in the dark, and just knowing that you're safe. But that knowing that you're safe can only start from within. So when you have that feeling of safety within, you can kind of feel that everywhere you go. So yes, the darkness is actually not a bad thing. We've been, I think, programmed into thinking that there's like good and bad, and like all the darkness is bad and it's scary, but actually the darkness is so very important. If we look at all the plants, they all start as seeds within the earth, and in order for them to grow, they must be in the dirt, in the darkness. So yeah, get out into nature, no matter what season you're in, whether it's light or dark. Connect with the trees, because the trees will always help you connect with your inner self, with your breath, with your heart, because these plants all started as seeds, as we did. And if we are seeds, we are nature. Nature is home. So that was a little inspirational, I had an inspiration to come on live for this on YouTube today, just to connect in with you all, of course, and say hello, send all my love, connecting with nature and connecting with you, and to remind you that we are nature, and to embrace all the seasons. Have the most beautiful day, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. I've just seen 11:11, and sending you all so much love, much love.